welcome everybody to the first ever episode of Corridor Conversations. I'm Curt, Strouth, the President and CEO of the Iowa Lakes Corridor Development Corporation, joined by
Trevor Smith, Senior Vice President of Economic Development here at the Iowa Lakes Corridor, and today we're shooting live from the Spencer CoLab building here in Spencer.
So we're excited. This is a new endeavor for us. Like I said, the major reason why we're doing this is we want to bring more exposure to what we're doing at the Corridor. We do a lot of things in and out every single day. We have an awesome team that are very particular in what we do, and here's our opportunity to share through storytelling what we do day to day. So Trevor, I think today our goal is to kind of give a background on who we are as a Corridor, what we do, who our team is, and maybe some of the region that we serve.
Yeah, so I guess we should get started, and my first question for you is, what is the Iowa Lakes Corridor and what region do you serve?
Oh, that's a great question. So Iowa Lakes Corridor, we represent 4 counties in northwest Iowa of economic development. That's everything from housing to child care to the full gamut of economic development. And we cover 4 counties, like we said, Buena Vista County, Clay County, Dickinson, and all the way over to Emmett and our great friends over at Estherville. In totality, a population base of about 64,000 people. So if you think about the area that we cover, it's pretty vast. It's 4 counties of the 99 in northwest Iowa, so that's a decent percentage for an organization.
So people hear the word economic development all the time, and nobody really knows exactly what it is. As an economic development expert yourself, you mind giving the audience a little bit of taste of what it is and what are some of the things we do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so there is no patent for really good economic development. I think for communities to succeed and regions to succeed, we do a lot of things really well. And so you talk about quality of life initiatives. I mean, that's part of economic development. You think about the aquatic centers, the trails, the quality of life that makes families happy with what they're doing. I mean, that's part of what we do. You know, you need rooftops, you need people, you need places for people to live. So developing housing at the community level is important. You know, talking to our existing industry and businesses and manufacturing, we're making sure they have the resources they need, Trevor, to be able to continue to grow and expand. And you know, one of the statistics that we throw out here at our office quite often is that 80% of community growth actually comes from our existing businesses that are already here today. So we want to make sure they have the resources they need to continue to grow and expand. We talk about child care issues, workforce development. I mean, some of those two things can kind of go hand in hand. I mean, our existing industry, manufacturing businesses need more people to continue to grow and expand right now. But to be able to enter the workforce, if you have a young family such as you, or you got a young 1-year-old at home,
absolutely.
I mean, you'd be able to have access to adequate daycare for you to go to work or your wife to go to work is important. So as we say, we're full gamut. I mean, there's not one thing we're focused on. If you look at our annual report, we're a wide array of what we do, and we have a talented staff to be able to help facilitate that.
Well, do you want to go down our staff list and
Let's do it.
Highlight some of the others that are, maybe behind the camera right now?
Absolutely, the ones that really hold the bread together, right?
Absolutely.
Why don't you give the audience the kind of a breakdown of who our staff is?
Yeah, so we have Joanne Fallon, who's been with the Corridor for 17 years. She's in charge of our business retention and expansion program, and she does that at a very high level. As well as we also have Alyssa Peterson, who just celebrated her 7-year work anniversary with us, and she does an amazing job with coordinating events and running everything, basically running the show in the office. So always a friendly face up at the front. And then we just added a new part-time staffer, Jenny Dykema, who is office coordinator, and she does an unbelievable job with marketing. And with our team of 5, we do a pretty good job of covering our 4-county region. And Curt also wanted to go into, who are some of our partners in economic development in our organization? As a nonprofit, we have a 16-member board with representatives from 4 different counties. We work with cities, work with counties. Who are all the different partners that we have in economic development?
Yeah, great question. And I think one of the things that we pride ourselves on with the Corridor is to make sure that we understand who our partners are and that we're collaborating, right? I mean, we talk about 4 counties and the number of different communities that lie within that. If you're not collaborative in what we're doing to push economic development forward from a local and state and a regional level, we're just ultimately not going to be successful. And we talk about that all the time. I think it's vital and we understand that. But we talk about our 16-member board. I mean, we have 4 representatives from each one of our 4 counties, which is great. So a very diverse group of individuals, from engineering to county to city officials to banking, financial institutions, manufacturing. It's a wide variety there. So you talk about all those people, those are all our local partners, and they're all over the place. And we had over 80 investors in the corridor to help fund the operations that we do. But to be ultimately successful, you got your state and our regional partners, our county representatives, but we're very close to our utility providers too, to make sure we understand if we have a business coming in or a business looking to expand, that we have a utility partner base that we're able to help connect them to. We have Iowa Area Development Group, another development organization that we partner with. We're very close with Iowa Economic Development Authority and the great resources that they have. So again, partnerships can be as big as you want them to be, and I think our goal as an organization is we continue to expand upon that. And I think as a team and as a board, as an organization, I think we've really done a good job of that over the last couple of years to make sure people know what we're doing and they ultimately want to be part of the game plan.
Yeah, and so Curt, what are some of those, we have different things going on throughout the year, whether it's quarterly lunch and learns, different events, homegrown talent initiative, big idea, and even our culminating event for all of our investors, partners, and everything, which is our business recognition luncheon held every January. You want to talk a little bit about that and the different partnerships we have with that event?
Certainly. I think what you hit on, Trevor, and I think as a team, as we talk about this weekly, as we sit down as a team on a weekly basis, is whatever we do as an organization, we want to make sure we're impactful and we're getting a good reach. So when you talk about the quarterly lunch and learns, what's the intention behind that? Well, it's to bring our partners in with us to understand what's going on at the corridor first and foremost, but to provide an opportunity for leadership type development or to bring in some sort of a tool that everybody can benefit from a little bit. So I think that quarterly lunch and learns kind of hit that on the head. Our annual business recognition event that we host in January of every year, that's our opportunity to deliver our annual report or our annual report of activities, as we like to call it. This year we were fortunate to have a record-breaking year for our annual report, which is awesome. I think it's a reflection of our team and our organization and our board of having over 270 partners as part of that. So that was outstanding. We bring in speakers as part of that. We give out some awards as part of that too to recognize some of the outstanding achievements throughout the year. But anything we do from an outreach, Trevor, to your question, we do it with the understanding is we want to bring people in, we want to get them connected, we want to network, and we all want to do this for one ultimate reason, is to grow economic development and prosperity in our corridor region.
So you joined as the CEO of the Iowa Lakes Corridor roughly about 2 years ago now.
We're getting close.
It's getting close to 2 years. So tell me a little bit about how you got started in economic development and kind of where you got led to this point, and then what's your vision for the corridor here in the future?
That's a great question, and I appreciate you asking. Like I tell everybody in life, everything you can plan on, everything changing, right? I mean, everybody goes to college or has a plan for life, and we think we have a game plan or a script. And I'm always the first one to tell my kids and the people that I'm around that I'm close to is that be ready for change and be prepared for that. I went to college not for economic development, surprise. But from how I transitioned out of college, everything led to where I'm at today, from Chamber of Commerce work, from recreation work at the city level to, again, high-level Chamber of Commerce work into economic development for the city of Sheldon for 12 years is where I really got my baseline for economic development during my experience in the city of Sheldon, where we saw some significant growth, 6.25% population growth in 10 years, some significant commercial, industrial, quality of life expansions. If you look at the east side of Sheldon, if you drive through Highway 18 and 60 now where that interchange is at, you'll see some significant growth that happened. And I'll say with that, I mean, there was some intentionality behind all of that, great partnerships, great strategic planning, great visioning to be able to help lead that charge, which led me to a great opportunity here with the corridor, which I'm really excited about. So I take my community level hat, still wear it, but in a different way. I mean, now we're talking about 4 counties and all the communities that lie within that, and all the great partnerships that we get to work with on a day in, day out approach from city and county and our local businesses to be able to help facilitate growth at a different level and really push the collaborative piece, which we talk about, right?
Absolutely.
All the time. Like, if we're not collaborating in what we're doing, if we're not crossing county lines and city lines and be able to collaborate and hold each other's hands, understanding that if something happens in Spencer, that there's an ancillary economic impact that's probably going to be positive for Buena Vista County. If we don't understand what that actually means, we're really going to be hard to push economic development forward at a regional level. And from my standpoint here in 2 years, as you talk about, we've really come a long ways with that. And I think we're seeing that from an organizational level and from a growth standpoint for our region. So, and you're part of that, Trevor.
Yeah.
Right? You talk about where you come from. I mean, you've been with the corridor. You're going to be celebrating 2 years in November yourself, and you don't necessarily have an economic development background either. But
no, that's right. And prior to joining the Iowa Lakes Corridor, I coached college basketball, very different from what we're doing right now. And my wife and I was coaching, and ended up hearing about a job opening here back home, originally from Spirit Lake. And so with us starting a family, it was important to move back home and be in a place where we would be for a while, because college coaching, you're moving every single year, chasing the next job, and we wanted to kind of settle down and maybe make that next phase in life. And having a conversation with you, it was very evident that partnerships, collaboration, and just your vision for the organization, for the area, became very attractive. And so that's something I wanted to be a part of, and ended up making that application and applying for the job. And it was great getting to know the team, Alyssa, Joanne, right away, and building something great here. And so that's something that I wanted to be a part of, and it was a great decision for myself, but also my family and my wife. And so we're super excited to be here. And with new leadership at the corridor, obviously that comes with a new direction, and I know we recently just completed a new strategic plan for the next 3 years. And so maybe you want to highlight some of the different things in there, or talk about that process a little bit and what we're kind of working towards.
Yeah, I think anytime you create a vision, you got to have a plan that kind of leads you with where you're going. And we talk about our supportive board of directors. They are, and we had a great team. We talk about the team and helping lead the charge. We had a great team help facilitate things, and things we always hear. I mean, the top 3 things in economic development that are maybe preventative for growth that we hear all the time is the availability of people, workforce. Right, we need people to be here. We need rooftops. We need housing, and we need childcare. And I think we tackled all 3 of those within about a year at a pretty high level. And 2 brand new initiatives: one, homegrown talent initiative, which is an initiative regarding revolving around workforce development and getting our kids that are graduating at a local level in our schools to come back and live here in our communities and take jobs. Another brand new initiative called the Big Idea Challenge. It's an entrepreneurial challenge that we started, brand new initiative. I'm going to let you explain to the crowd here both of these in just a second. But the reason behind the Big Idea is to create an entrepreneurial spirit here locally, to have people who are either existing business owners or those looking to expand maybe out of their garage, and providing them some resources and opportunities to be able to expand here at the regional level. So those are 2 outstanding endeavors that we started, or initiatives, I should say. And the other thing is, we talk about childcare. We're currently working with the city of Spencer to do a pretty high-level, in-depth childcare study, market analysis, strategic plan, and financial modeling to understand what the demand here is for childcare at a local level, and prepare a strategic plan on how do we get over those hurdles and really attack that at a high level, make sure we have the daycare available here at a local level. But I want to get back to those 2 initiatives, because we put a lot of thought in it as a team. We sat around a table, we deliberated, how do we attack the workforce development issue. We'll start with that one. Because it's hard, right? I mean, get people to move back to our small communities. There's always that philosophy out there that people say rural is dying, and we got to get past that mindset. It's not dying in Northwest Iowa, I can tell you that much. We're very proactive here. But part of what our strategic plan is, we need to get into our schools and identify our kids and approach our kids and engage with our youth to get them to go to college or enter the workforce directly out of high school and be here and start the family, buy a house, and grow, right? And so we started the Homegrown Talent Initiative, which is a brand new initiative developed by the corridor. Why don't you explain what that is, what the mission behind that is, and how we are going to kind of push that into the next phase?
Yeah, so the Homegrown Talent Initiative, so what it is, let's say you're an individual, you're from Storm Lake, Iowa. You end up going to college at Iowa State University. You get your degree. Maybe you do an internship in the Des Moines area for 1 year. Then you secure a job back home in Storm Lake. Then we will provide grants, $6,000 grants, paid over 4 years, because the studies show if you can get an individual into your community for 4+ years, then there's a 10x chance that they're going to stay for the long term. And so then what they can utilize those funds for are for student loan debt repayment, mortgage loan reimbursement, or ongoing child care expenses. And so those are the 3 biggest barriers for young individuals looking to move into a community. And so we wanted to jumpstart a program We just had our first round of applicants this last year, and we just awarded our first 2, which we're super excited about, and hopefully get them on the podcast here soon. And they have awesome stories, great young individuals, but yeah, they went off to college, and you can be at college, technical school, trading, or anything else, go off, but then they secured a job back here, and it's really cool to hear their stories. We want to bring them on the road with us, get them in our schools, and have them just explain to other young people that, yeah, there are great opportunities here to live, work, and play in the Iowa Lakes Corridor region. And so, like I said, we just awarded our first 2, and then here in August, we're going to have our 2nd annual Homegrown Talent Initiative Golf Tournament. And so those funds that we fundraise in that golf outing alone is what we use to provide the funds. And hopefully we're able to grow it to get to 1 in each county per year. We had about 20 applicants this year, so I would say it was very successful. It was very hard to choose those last 2 once the committee got down to it, brought 6 individuals in for interviews. But it's really cool, like I said, hearing their stories of they've been different places, not just around here, and then, you know, their reasons for coming back are pretty admirable. So, and then the Big Idea Challenge, the entrepreneurial pitch competition, was a really cool experience because we also got to work with a lot of our local partners who helped judge it and the different pitches. And those individuals were able to compete for a prize pool of $10,000 to help jumpstart their entrepreneurial endeavor. And so, here in April, we were able to host our first one. And it was a great experience, networking event, and the ability for them to get real good knowledge from a bunch of established entrepreneurs in our area. And we're hoping to grow that here next year.
I love it. And going back to the Homegrown Talent Initiative, which is the workforce development initiative that we talked about, this is a culture building experience, right? I mean, we understand we're not going to move the needle a lot in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, but all of a sudden we're awarding 4 of these scholarships year after year after year. Obviously, that gets to 10 years, you know, doing my math right. It's 40 scholarships awarded. That's 40 individuals that we have here in our region. And to take all 40 of those over time on the road with us, to your point, talking to them, telling their messages in our schools, that has a cultural impact, or an impact that's going to help just kind of tell the message, which we're excited about.
Yeah, and it what it does is also highlights all of our businesses that do hire those local kids. And when we go on our business retention expansion visits, all of our local businesses and large employers, they say when they hire somebody who's originally from Omaha, Des Moines, or some of the bigger cities, that after 2 years they end up going back to their home or their hometown, and the employees that they get that, you know, have a connection back here, whether the family used to vacation up here, they're from the area originally, they have family in the area, those are the employees they get for 10, 15, 20 years, and those are the ones who really make an impact in our communities, and that's what we're trying to grow.
Right. Yeah. And then going back to the Big Idea Challenge, I mean, that goes anywhere from individuals that we saw in our finalist round or pitch-off round, individuals who were not making any cash or making any money at all, to some who was in a cash flow operation, to some, which is really cool, actually just opened up a brand new storefront here within the last couple of months, and actually going to be hosting your ribbon cutting here this week.
Yeah, and Jack Bauermeister with Glacier Made, you know, somebody who has a lifestyle brand, a company built around the Lakes area, a clothing brand, and so actually open up a physical location. So, you know, that's property tax revenue, that's local sales tax, and that's money that's being reinvested back into our local community. Cody Fuller, who ended up winning the Big Idea with Fuller Radiance, he makes custom lamps, which we're really excited to get ours once they finish in production. But you know, with that money, he's able to buy a better machine, and instead of a 3-day or 48-hour turnaround to produce a piece for his lamp, he cuts that down to only a few hours. And so that's better production. He's got a storefront production warehouse down there, and he ended up even going on to some other pitch events after ours and won those too. So he was scooping it up this spring in a lot of those pitch competitions. So that was really cool to see that he started at the Big Idea Challenge and, you know, had that success afterwards as well.
Yeah, he's got the exposure through the experience, right? And that's kind of what we hope for here at the corridor with some of the stuff we're doing. The 2 brand new initiatives, like we talked about, Homegrown Talent Initiative, Big Idea. Check them out on our website. got all the details right there. We'll be announcing the next round of all of that here coming up soon.
Absolutely.
So with that, conversations with the corridor. I'm Curt, this is Trevor. Behind the scenes, Alyssa and Jenny, outstanding team members. We look forward to doing this ongoing. This is going to be something we're going to continue to do to provide opportunities, exposure, what we do as a team day in, day out. But before we go, what's your hobby? The best thing you like to do outside of the corridor? I know you have a child, and I know you have a wife. You got to go somewhere else on that. You got to pivot from the go-to. Like, what would you do? It's just Trevor for a little time away.
Man, for me personally, there's just nothing better than just going out on the lake.
There you go.
Going out on West Lake, hanging out on a nice summer day.
Yeah.
So, maybe checking out a concert at the park.
There you go.
Things like that.
Absolutely.
So, nice, relaxing weekend doing that.
Yeah.
So, how about yourself?
That's a great question. I love hobbies. I love doing things on the downtime. I mean, if it's just me, I love playing golf. I love playing around golf, whether it's myself or with my family. But on a weekend, in the fall, man, a college football game or an NFL football game on a Sunday afternoon, that's my go-to. That's my hobby. So I love it.
Yeah, you can really tell the differences when the Vikings win on Sunday, what the attitude is coming into the week Monday versus when they lose.
So you're saying last year was a really positive Monday experience? I think
Absolutely.
It was
13-3
or something like that, or 14-3. It was a great year.
It was a great year. So we had a lot of momentum rolling in all fall, all winter, so until the playoffs. But
just to be crashed down in typical Viking fashion at the end of the year, that big loss, just to devastate the whole amazing season that we had. But
absolutely. But we're looking on to 2025 and a lot of happy Mondays.
Yeah, Minnesota Vikings Super Bowl championship.
Absolutely. That's the prediction here first. So.
Well, thanks everybody. Appreciate you. We look forward to seeing you down the road. For Curt and Trevor, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thank you guys.